Hey guys, I'm going to be going over my finals match from the 70-man tournament that happened last Saturday. Hopefully it'll give you some insights on how I play the game. So I start off with a blind Dialk because I had no monsters in my hand other than Dialk, so it was a high likelihood I'd hit something. I just need to get my game plan started, and I can protect him with, I think I had a compulse face down, so it wasn't a big deal if he brain conned or something. So he summons Gear Frame. So this guy, he plays pretty much four Stratoses. It's a pretty intimidating deck. So luckily, he attacks my Dialk and I get my Angel back. So he sets three. That telegraphs a trap does shoot, but luckily I stop it with Solemn Judgment. There. So I pay 4,000, but that's not a big deal because I'm able to do my signature play in a minute. So check this out. I go Cold Wave. I play Cold Wave now because you're not always going to get to Heavy Storm in time. He takes a while, but he ultimately lets it go through. So I do my crashing play with Angel. And notice how I decide to banish his gear frame because he plays Caius. And you want to keep your opponent off of any monsters so that they don't clap back with Caius. So main phase 2, I slam Christia. I don't have to worry about bottomless trap hole. And I pass. So he's under Cold Wave. He can't brain con or anything, so he ultimately passes. So it's my turn. I have Heavy Storm too, but instead of ripping it, I decide to make him lower his guard. So I set a monster and a Yada. So he thinks, oh, okay, I'm free to set spells and traps to match him. End phase, I go Raigeki Break, target his monster, because I don't know if he's on Raikos or Hamsters, and I don't want to deal with attacking into a set monster. You see what I'm saying? So on my turn, I go Yada, and I do what's effectively a pro set heavy without having to set the heavy. That's why Yada is so good. I take care of one of his D prisons, so I'm free to go in for 20, 28. Notice how I don't flip my face down card trooper and go in for a kill because I'm low on life. So it's his turn. He sets a bluff, and I decide to just go for it because I already took care of one of his battle traps. And if it's Mirror Force, I can still slam Christie the following turn. Notice I still don't flip over the card trooper in fear of Torrential. So it's his turn. He summons Stratos. And he gets Plasma. He was cooking the whole tournament with Plasma, but it's not that big of a deal versus me. I have ways of dealing with Plasma. But anyway, he attacks my face down. I draw a card, and he passes. Luckily for me, I rip an MST, take care of his back row just in case it's a chainable or something. Boom. Honest for game. So pretty decisive game one. Go to game two. This guy's pretty good. He's topped other decks, other tournaments with this deck before. Alright, so he's going first. Starts off with Stratos, no surprise there. He gets Plasma again. Plasma is it's such a costly card, but it's quite the literal god card in some matchups. Like, I saw him cooking frog players with it. It's pretty cool. It might be the future of Edison, but anyway. So I luckily Slam Heavy Storm. I get a free plus. That's nice, and I try to capitalize on it. Cyber Dragon and Barrier Statue. So I successfully swung tempo back in my favor. Now the game plan becomes protecting my statue for as long as possible. Luckily, I had Raigeki Break and Honest in my hand. So I set the Raigeki Break, and on his turn, I flip Yada again because I want to optimize what I discard with Raigeki Break. But he has the perfect out in Card Trooper. He wants to destroy my barrier statue and then contact fuse with the Cyber Dragon. I decide to spend my Honest because I want to do damage as fast as possible. So even though I just stormed him, he sets 3 back row. This is where I misplay. I do a blind MST. Even he knows not to blind MST. See, even at the highest level, you see misplays like that. Honestly, I was scared of Mirror Force, but at that point, I should have just switched my barrier statue to defense mode. So I try to go in with Cyber Dragon, and I eat a D Prison. So now I'm in a tough situation. I have no monsters, we're in top deck mode. I get 1 Honest, and he decides to just go 1-for-1 with it immediately. Because he knows that his top decks are superior to mine. At any time, he can summon a gear frame and do massive damage. So we're in a top deck war. Summons a monster. This is why I like Raigeki Break. I didn't know whether he was going to play set monsters or not, so I brought in Knock, and it would have been dead the whole game. So that's good. So the way I build fairies now, I have minimal a minimal monster count, and I'm kind of paying the price for it right now. So I luckily summon Lady, and he wants to maintain this top deck war, so he just goes ahead and deals with the Lady at a neg with Lightning Vortex. This is where I don't draw monsters for a couple turns, and he capitalizes on that. So he goes Dandy. I'm Yadaing, desperately trying to see a monster because I have a dead Christian hand. And boom, one of his supreme top decks. He makes Stardust Dragon. Luckily, I'm able to compulse it. It's my turn again. I set my traps. He makes Stardust Dragon again. He swings, and I take first damage. Because I have a Mirror Force face down, and I want to be able to save my Mirror Force, but I just keep drawing no monsters. So he's like, okay, I'm not scared of Torrential. Boom. So I'm forced to spend the Mirror Force so I don't die early. And he gets the Stardust back. So I'm in a bad position. I compulse his Machina so that I can combo it with DD Designator, but unfortunately I still can't deal with his Stardust. My turn again. Boom. Yeah, no one ever sees this card coming, but it's kind of a futile attempt, but at least I can collect information on my way down. So I see he plays Brain Control. It's nothing unexpected that you wouldn't run. So here he goes Pot of Avarice, and I get impatient and I solemn it. Really, I should have let it go through just so I can collect some information before game 3. But you know how it is. No one likes to have Pot resolved on you. But anyway, he closes out the game. And I get mad because a little bit because of my misplay. But anyway, we go to game 3. I'm going to be honest, this game 3 was not close. The way I build my deck, it has such a good matchup against his type of deck. I lock down special summons, and in the off chance they get a special summon off, I can always compulse whatever they summon. But yeah, it kind of sucked for him and his boys because he was undefeated in Swiss, I believe. He was just cooking people all day, and he gets to the very end, And he plays against a deck I doubt he has much experience against, but he's a strong player overall. But anyway, we start out. This is such an exciting match. So I start out with a set monster and 2 back row. So to no one's surprise, he starts out with a gear frame. Okay. Searches Machina. And he attacks. So I float into another angel. I go into angel so as to not telegraph my crashing play. If I go into Nova, they know, oh, okay, he has Christia in hand. But anyway, I know a lot of people like to bring in spot removal, see, the smashing ground, which is why I set the compulse. So I'm able to protect my monster. So he sets some back row and it's my turn again. I don't want to attack into this board, so I just keep walling up, because in my experience, my opponent gets impatient and they just attack my sets. And that's exactly what he does. So boom, Stratos. And then he decides to go for it. Summons Machina. And I have Mirror Force face down actually, but I don't flip it right away because I'm scared of Starlight Road. And I want to see what he does. Like, let's say he flips Light Imprisoning Mirror, then that's when I Mirror Force. But if he's just going to attack and set up my graveyard, then more power to him. So I attack. I go into a Nova. And he's like, okay, he knows Christia exists. So he's not going to set up my graveyard. So he does his Plasma play. And any other player, this would have ruined their game plan. But I had the answer. And unless he's playing My Body as a Shield or Divine Wrath, that thing is gone. Everyone lost it when I did this. But anyway, I was scared he was going to Raigeki break my Nova end phase and mess up my fairy count, but I get lucky. I slam Christia. I'm in a really good position. I'm up a lot of cards because he decided to go for a Hail Mary. So he has Solomon Compulse face down. It's too early for him to Solemn, so he decides to just deal with the Christia with Compulse at first. So I retrieve Honest because I'm in the driver's seat now. So I attack with Nova. Try to go in with Christia. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a deep prison on him. So he's forced to use what he's got, which is a Compulse. So he compulses my Christia, it's gone. So I decide to surprise him. I summon Card Trooper and I call 1. So no one is so good that they can calculate the correct number of cards to mill with Trooper in the moment. You know, you're going to be called out for slow play if you try to do the probabilities in your head. So he's trying to wall up now. He makes his tokens. That's all fine and dandy. No pun intended. It's my turn again. So I call 1 again because I don't have to risk it. Like, if he blows up my board, I can still slam Christia. But anyway, I don't hit a fairy because I play a low fairy count now. I attack. I drop Honest for almost no reason. Main phase 2, Christia. So he does a play here, which I agree with. He has to Solemn it because his only way out now is to top deck a Debris and get Black Rose going because I only have 1 card in my hand. So I was a little scared, I'm not going to lie. He top decks and he doesn't get Debris. I'm like, thank God. This is the second best thing he could have top decked. But I'd rather take this over Debris because I had no answer for Debris. I didn't even sign in my Starlight Road. But anyway, my patience pays off because I have a Mirror Force sitting down there for the whole game. You know, a lot of us have been in this situation where we know Mirror Force is live, but we have no choice but to play into it, and that's what he does here. He's a good player. And he eats a Mirror Force. Anyway, when it's my turn again, I call Gores just to make sure my attack goes through. And I deal just enough damage to seal out the match. So I hope you guys learned